welcome to the Range Rover Autobiography. Now, I do like the Range Rover Vogue Autobiography. There's just something quintessentially luxurious about SUVs, and I'm a massive SUV nut. I just think they're so baller. So before we actually kick off, this car's a bit dirty, so let's go to the car wash. Right, so while that Range Rover Vogue is getting washed, let me tell you through the specs. This car is over £130,000. It's almost the same price as an SV Autobiography. And in this video today, we're going to see if this car is the benchmark of luxury SUVs, or do you go and spend your money on a Bentley Bentayga or something else like that? Let's find out. Right, so back to the driving in the Range Rover Vogue Autobiography. Now, this car is the one that sits just before the SV Special Vehicle Operations one. So it's the top of the lineup. It has everything. It has the 5-litre supercharged V8 making 510 horsepower. It's also just got all the toys thrown at it. It's got massaging seats, it's the facelift model, so it's got the updated sort of face and lights, and man, the screen straight out of the Velar. It's just a sumptuous thing. Also, this car was supplied by 365 Hire. Go check them out. Go follow the links down below in the description. If you want a really luxurious car, something like this Range Rover Vogue, go and chat with them or slide into their DMs about more information. Now, on the move of this car, well, let's talk about the plus points, because there's many plus points in this. The ride, I mean, this car is riding on 22-inch rims, and the ride is, well, it's just Rolls-Royce level. It's just absolutely brilliant, and it has this sense of, you know, just in your own little world. You know, you're separated from everyone else. It's just you in your own harmony, in great comfort. That's a great bit of kit. I mean, it's just lovely, and being higher up, you just feel very important and special. Not in a, you take that how you want, actually, you can see that in a far arrogant way, but it just has those sort of elements. Now, why do I like this car? Well, because, I mean, first off, it isn't cheap. I mean, it's £130,000, as I mentioned, but it can do the sort of S-Class job, in the sense of, you know, if you was a chauffeur, you could use one of these and take people out the back, because in the back, it's just a beautiful place to be in. Obviously, it's only got 2 seats rather than 3 from the standard car, because it's the long wheelbase, but you get loads of leg room, and the tech is unbelievable. Okay, so I thought it would be best to pull over and have a little walk around on this Range Rover Vogue. Now, excuse the background noise, because yeah, this is the only place I could sort of find to park up. I'm in the middle of the M25, but anyway, let's have a little walk around on the styling of this Range Rover Vogue. Obviously, this being the facelift, it's got a couple of cool bits like the lights and etc. So, updated lights. It's still distinctively a Range Rover Vogue. I really do like it in this paint scheme. I think it's really, really cool. It's got the optional 22-inch rims. It's hard to tell that it's the long wheelbase version from this distance, just because it's so vast, but I just love the shape of this car. Can you believe that this is a 6-year-old design now? Normally, most car manufacturers would, you know, make up a new one, but I don't know, with the Land Rover designers, they somehow manage to make things look modern and crisp for long periods of time. The Brits are really good at that. I mean, look at the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, etc. Anyway, the rear is really cool. It's got updated lights from the rear, etc. Nice visible open exhausts. Just love it. It just looks majestic from here. Really, really nice. Obviously, if I open the door, you've got deployable side steps, which is a really nice feature. Inside you've got this really nice brown cream interior, and these seats are just sumptuous, and you could just, if you're not careful, you can fall asleep in them. It is that good. Now, infotainment screen. It's got the new infotainment screen that's been first introduced on the Range Rover Velar. So it's got two screens, one for your media entertainment, the other one is for your climate control and the vehicle chassis dynamics, etc. So you can play about with two different things. What I love is the depth and abilities you could do with this screen. I mean, for example, you can have the television on here on one different channel, another channel on the rear, and then another channel rear, as I'll show you later on in a minute. You've also got, if I hop in, a TFT display there. This is where it gets really, really interesting. Now, you've got adjustable seats for pretty much everything. I mean, you can adjust the rear seats. You know, if you don't like the person in front, well, no bother, because if you press this button, that will just crush them. And then everything is fine, and it leaves you with awesome legroom. I mean, I'm 6'3", and look at that. I've got yards of legroom, man. I mean, you could put another seat in front. It's literally that long. But these entertainment screens are really cool. I mean, you could just sit here and chill and do all sorts. I mean, like I said, you got one channel there for one occupant, then you've got another one for another occupant, you've got another one for another passenger. I mean, and plus they can all be filtered in different individual screens. It's just that cool. Same with this side as well too. I mean, look at that, that's just fully reclined. How cool is that? Oh man, this is just a really nice place to be in. Do you know what? First class flights, like planes, need to learn from this Range Rover Autobiography, because it is just the place to be in. So then, the engine. Now, it's a supercharged 5-litre V8. Over 510 horsepower. Now, on the move, because obviously it's a supercharged engine, it needs revs to sort of get it working. You sort of almost have to kick down on it on the 8-speed ZF gearbox. It does hunt for gears ever so slightly, but it's just really nice and refined and smooth. It doesn't have the elasticity torque, like, you know, that feeling of just monstrous pull low down like you would get in the 4.4 litre diesel V8. The downsides of having this engine is the fuel economy. I'm getting like 6 mpg. It's shocking. And you could go, yeah, but it's a 5-litre supercharged V8, it makes a great noise. Well, no, this one, they've really piped down the V8 soundtrack. And I can totally understand that. This is a luxury car. Why do you need any sorts of noise? I mean, you can just hear a faint whine from the supercharger. But it's just baller, man. I love this car. It's just airy, the cabin's lovely. Man, you know, just for long road trips, you'd love this car. You just absolutely would. Build quality on this is, do you know what? Pretty good, pretty decent. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of plasticky bits, but overall it's still a really nice cabin. Obviously with the updates, you know, with the new screens and that, it just feels special. You know, it hasn't got that boring typical German feel about it. It's a breath of fresh air. But £130,000, that is quite a lot of money when you think of it, but it is quite a lot of car. Okay then, so conclusion on the Range Rover Vogue Autobiography long wheelbase. Well, like I said, everything that I mentioned on the drive, it's just It's the quintessential choice of SUV, especially when it comes to luxury SUVs. I mean, the styling's proper, especially in this colour scheme. I think it's fantastic. It being the long wheelbase version is really cool. Those seats, man, those electric seats and the tellies. Oh man, I wish I could just rack up my PS4 in there on an Xbox and play Forza Horizon 4. That would be so lols. If you want the car to do uber miles in, this is the one to have. Whether to have the 5-litre supercharged V8, I suppose when you spend 100 grand, what's 10 mpg to you, man? It's just proper. £130,000 is a lot of money, and if you don't want to spend that kind of money, then head over to 365 Hire. Follow the links down below on Instagram and check out what they've got in stock. In fact, they've got quite a few bits of kit that you can hire out. So yeah, man, I absolutely adore it. Like I said, there is nothing else quite like it other than the Bentley Bentayga, but in the future, maybe I could do a review on that and then maybe compare it with this one. But anyway, until next time, folks, see you later.